Hello, and welcome to the part two of my live painting of Turok versus the T-Rex. Now, a few things here, just before I get started, is I did do a few changes here. So basically, the head position here was originally way too lean to one side, so I've just straightened that out. And I also changed the proportion of the legs a little bit, so I made this leg here a little bit longer, just because it didn't make sense, because positioning while the hips are going to be pretty square to the view. I had this one like it was trailing behind, so his body would have been twisted more. So that's just what I've done. Just a little quick thing that I did after the stream, just so you're caught up. And now we'll get back to painting here. Let me just make sure I got the right brush. Now I'm just using the lighter ink brush. This is what I'm finding that I'm liking to use in this program. Seems to not fail that you get a get some sort of Windows notification right when you start to stream, it seems, every time. So what I'm doing here is, while I did like the fact that the abdomen was stretched out, I think I'm going to do more of a vacuum pose. So I'm really sucking in his stomach here. I just think that would be more natural for the actual position. So I'm just going to go and darken that first. And refine the shape here more and more. Alright, I'm just going to zoom out. See how that's looking. Yeah, I like that a little bit more. And then later I'll go in darker just to accent the ab insertions. I'm just gonna pull this just so you can see a little bit more of the shape of the rib cage here. These are all things that I just noticed after the stream, when I was just kind of reviewing, kind of looking at what I need to kind of do next, and these were some things that just stood out to me. So we'll probably have just putting a mark there just for now, just so I know where I'm gonna kind of work in the ab insertions. That's gonna be a little abrupt there. Yeah, I like that a little bit better than him kind of having his abs kind of more puffed out. Now, the way I'm getting different tones, I don't know if I said this last time, but I'm just using the Alt key to bring up the picker. That's how basically you mix in your your color transitions just by picking, going over it with different shades and pressing, how much you're pressing, and on your pressure sensitive pen. Just gonna grab those really darker. Need to get a bit darker shadows going in here. All right. Yeah, that's a bit better. I know right now everything looks really dark. I should start lightening up some of that. So I might actually go in and just brighten up the sky a little bit there. Get closer to what my actual like bright sky tone is going to be there. Let's see, is this, or let's see, is this larger? Oh, I wonder if I go much larger, how quick this will run. Well, it's not too bad. It's not quite as nice and smooth as I was hoping. Let's switch to something else. So I'm gonna try a softer brush here. Ooh. That's what I need. There we go. So I'm just grabbing the soft airbrush right now. And it's not really gonna match with the kind of textures I'm getting right now, and it'll be a little bit more smooth of a transition than we're kind of wanting, but and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a warm tone here too. Probably closer that I get to the top of the screen here. And give it a little bit more orangey. Just giving it a little bit more warmth there. To cool. I'm just gonna get a little bit more saturated now with that tone. That transition's a little abrupt, but what we'll do is we'll be going back in there, fixing up that a little bit. But it just lightens up the whole mood closer to what I'm going for. So they inform my highlights a little bit more here. Let's go back in here, go back to a smaller brush here. I'm just gonna start adding that bright highlight there. Let's press a little lighter this time. Oh, it's still pretty dark. All right, so I'm just gonna dim that down a bit. And it's not really mixing the way I want there. It's being a little, the strength is just a little strong on the brush. I should start refining the shape of the hands here too, just a little bit. And I think the shape is going to change too. Just so it makes a little bit more sense to when he's holding something. And let's go in here. And start. And just grab a stronger brush there again. Refine these shapes. I don't know why I'm getting a... just gotta switch back to my paintbrush. Let's just take that and scale it up a tiny bit. Let's fill in the gap here. And the thumb will kind of be there. So this one, the thumb should be coming across there. I'm just gonna also start putting in the actual spear here. Oh. I might put kind of, I was looking at older comics and they always have the kind of the little beaded round thing in his hair there. Geez, why am I forgetting the name of it right now? Anyways, it's a circular thing that goes around here. That's usually ornate and beaded and stuff. So. Yeah, so I'm going not for like the video game version of the character. I'm going more for like the like old comic books. Not even like the modern version of the character that you'll see in some of the Dynamite comics. But this is more like the original Son of Stone look I'm going for. I'll go in and refine that hair more later, the shape, but it's not really anywhere where I want it yet, but I'm gotta start somewhere. Alright, I'm just gonna start putting some of the highlights in these hands here. So he's gonna have his knuckles coming across here. And his thumb is gonna be coming across there. And kind of the palm in there. Still seems a little small to me, but not too far off from what I want. Let's try that. Okay. Let me get a brush that's a little bit better for blending stuff here. I don't know what's going on with my my camera. I guess it's too hot in here. It keeps overheating. So my camera is turning off and on. At least that's what I believe the issue to be. Unless it's my USB extension cable I'm using on it, I don't know. But I noticed last time it cut out entirely for the entire program, so hopefully I can get that, figure out why all of a sudden it's doing that where it wasn't doing it before. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it keeps turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off. Really not sure what. Maybe it's the power supply to it. Seems fine. Okay, so that's going to be kind of the bottom of the palm there. And then kind of the going over. You might see a little bit of that coming. Probably not. Whoa. Control X and Control Z are way too like deleting your layer and just going back a step in this program. I find them just a little too close together if you're working quickly. Jeez, I don't know what's going on with that camera. Just every 5 minutes it's going on and off, on and off, on and off. It's very annoying. Just not an issue I've had at all in my previous streams with it. So it's just a new behavior that I'm not exactly sure what's going on with it. just gonna make this bicep a little bit smaller. No, the like more modern interpretation of this character, he is like very muscled. I don't want to quite do him quite that muscular. I'm just gonna keep bringing that down till it seems about right. I'm just gonna grab another highlight tone here. I'm just gonna start putting in kind of a highlight in there. You know what? I'm gonna change that highlight color just a little bit to something a little less pinkish and a little more yellow. Maybe too far with that. So I'll just keep slowly lightening that up, changing the tone a little bit, bring that up a little bit slower. To a brighter tone. This is probably going to lose a little bit in the sky there, but I was going to try to avoid going like complete white with my highlight, but I might actually end up going that bright in the end. We'll see. It's a little misshapen. Try and get more of the natural shape of that in there. Still a little too beige looking for me. This is generally lightening up that section. And okay, let's get the shape better. Grabbing more of a something that I can draw a clean line with, just to kind of get the, come on, grab the right color. There we go. It's an issue I've been finding with this program. I find that I don't find the color picker to be accurate. Like, it might be, and it's just maybe my eye that's tricking me here, but I keep finding it's somewhat inaccurate. The shadow should be coming up more there. This chest. That should be a lot lighter, considering the light source. That delt is way too big. Alright. Oh, cancel. Alright. Delete that. Better. And I'm gonna bring this area in a bit. Let's bring this highlight up here closer. Now what I don't have in here is like is traps, so I'm just gonna give some sort of indication of some sort of trapezius muscle in there. It's just gonna need to define the face a little bit differently here, if I can grab the right color. Well, these lips will probably be color changed quite a bit by the end, but for now I'm just kind of keeping them in that same kind of tone I have for the rest of the face. Well, that jaw should be more, it's a little, making him look a little bit older because I have like these big fat jowls. I'm just gonna cut away there and change that highlight. Oh, the shape is better. There we go. It's better. see what I have to do here with this brow line. Once I put in the actual eyebrows and stuff, it should help that a lot. Oh, let's refine that shape here. Just checking my second monitor on the right here because it's a little bit better for color than my actual drawing monitor is. Just being a newer monitor, I got just like a Samsung like 27-inch monitor there that I just might be checking back and forth. If you see me turning my head a lot, and plus I get a little bit of glare just to light this camera that doesn't work. The funny thing is that I feel no heat coming off of it whatsoever, so I'm not exactly sure what's causing the overheating issues with it. But hopefully that will bring it back online here for who knows how long. I don't know. Okay, there. Oops. The Alt button so close to the Windows button too. That's annoying. But that's in every program. Yeah, that kind of issue. I'm just going to grab the highlight color there. Bring that along the side of that. It might be a little bit early for me to be worrying about kind of the details and stuff here, but sometimes you just want to go forward just to motivation wise, so you know you're kind of heading in the right direction, because at times you'll feel like it's not really going in the direction you wanted it to. So sometimes you just take time to do kind of make certain areas a little bit more refined than you need to at this point in the drawing process, painting process. So really right now you just kind of want to start making your shapes so you have a better idea of so you just have it all down, and then you can go in and start refining. But just so I can get a feel, I'm just working a little bit further in this than I probably would if I was really confident in it. I'm not that confident in where it's going yet, which is okay. You'll have these moments in everything you do where you're not quite as happy with the way things are turning out. It might take a while. I'm starting to feel it though. I'm starting to feel the feel for what I like and what I don't like going on in it. Bring some of that, not quite, let's bring that highlight over to the chest here. It's tough because I'm in between, like, how lean to what do I want to make him? Is he gonna have actual striations in his muscle that are visible, or is he gonna be kind of softer? Whereas muscle isn't quite as defined. It's not as like sinewy, I guess, is maybe a term, where you can kind of see this, even the strings of the striations of the muscle, kind of stringy look. None of his face should really be going as dark as the darkest shadows, I think. Except maybe kind of like nostrils, of course, and maybe a bit around the eyes. But well, it's getting there. It's getting more of what I want. That's why I kind of consider painting very similar to sculpting, because you get these kind of like blobs and shapes and you're not really sure, but you can just keep working them and working them and working them until they kind of do what you want them to do. And the same kind of applies for painting, at least the way I do, I guess. Especially if you're just kind of going in there and finding stuff as you're working, like in this style where I don't have a real strong starting sketch. I'm just kind of finding stuff as I go. Finding the right shapes, finding what feels right. Gonna make that a little less, define the separation there. He still has probably larger arms than I would like, but that's easy enough to keep whittling away, whittling them down. Line that section all up. I'm basically right now just fixing up this lighting so it's a little bit brighter. I have a tendency to do stuff really dark for a really long time, and then it's a pain. I end up either like almost doing like a more universal lightening of everything, and then, which isn't really ideal. You kind of want to be doing it as you're going, which I'm trying to get better at with something like this. Come on, where's that lighter color there? I also find it kind of like similar, like I said, to sculpting, because you kind of just keep working it and smoothing it out. And oops, Boy, that camera is getting really annoying. The fact that it just will not, like, keep restarting on me. And that's way too light, this color that I'm going in there. That's why it's kind of looking soft and muddled, the shapes. Now the brightest points should be on the end there. And this should not be quite that shape. Grab change the size a little bit here of the brush, just so I can get a little bit. I'm gonna get these highlights in here a little bit better. So this is gonna be kind of the knuckle area. Knuckles right here. And it's only 3 fingers. We're gonna have to indicate a little bit of something there too. And then you're gonna have your kind of palm right there. I think this will just pull that right back to there. Now, if any of you guys actually work in Clip Studio Paint for digital painting, I'd love to hear any tips or tricks that you guys use. Do you guys use the blending tools a lot? Do you use your digital painting in here, or what works best for you? Like I said, I'm pretty new to this program, so definitely still looking for new ways of doing stuff and learning more. Alright, let's zoom out here. Take another look at how that's going. Like it. Probably do. And then when you're trying to define like lines and shapes, it's just good to want like a dark, if you want something kind of very apparent, just have a dark section by a really highlighted light section. Generally, that's how you can define your sharp edges. Alright, yeah. That's looking a lot better. Looking more like what we're going for. Face still needs quite a bit of work. I might leave that till later. Like the actual mouth shape probably needs some work. In fact, this whole kind of like jaw section here will probably need some work here just on the shape of it a little bit. Oh, let's just grab a more solid brush. Just get that in there for now. See an idea more. Just narrowed out that jaw shape a little bit more. Now I'm not really worrying, like eventually you probably want to put in like a shadow line across the face for any of the light obstructions and stuff. I'm just not really worrying about that right now. Reason being is that's more is better left to like your finishing process, where we'll actually probably do that on a different layer and then just do like a multiply. So we kind of just want the ambient kind of light work right now. I think I put in some, but you don't want to. It's just it's going to be way easier in the end to add it after. Also, like these edges are probably a little hard too for what the final image is going to be. We'll go in there with a kind of usually a softer brush, just because you're going to get some kind of reflection and almost like glow off stuff. So if I go just add another layer here just to give you an idea, and then I'll usually take like a real soft brush here and I'll grab kind of like the highlighted area. I'll just maybe go to like a screen setting. I'll just really lightly kind of brighten up certain areas. This way you can kind of lighten up the shadows as well as there's any place where kind of light is going to be hitting strong. And it's just to help kind of add the atmosphere in there. Because anytime you get any kind of distance away from something, you get a little bit of atmospheric effect going, where like basically your what do you call it? It's basically particles in the air. I'm seeing these biceps are really short compared to the length of the arm. I'm just going to grab my free transform tool, lengthen that, and I can even make it more leaned out looking there. And the angle is going to have to change a bit just to accommodate the positioning of the spear. So now I will go in here. I'm just going to grab this section. And I'm just going to edit that a little bit. And Control D. And then I'll go in here, fix up any of the gaps and stuff that I need to fill in now. I'll have to go back in there and refine. That's kind of why you don't want to get too far ahead of like overly shading stuff early, because you're gonna probably have to go in there and just refine stuff like that. Yeah, see, that's more in line with kind of what we got going on in the other, in this arm. But I'm thinking too that this arm shape needs to be edited quite a bit too. I'm just gonna cut that, transform. I'm just gonna lengthen that. I'm gonna bring that down, this up, and do that. Yeah, you can really see why I'm like, you don't want to get too far ahead, but sometimes if you're not happy with the way things are going, you just have to kind of do that just so you can get a better idea of where you're going with the whole thing. Yeah, see, that's a lot better now than it was. These forearms are gonna need some work too. This length of this forearm may still be too long, so that might actually change the positioning of my hands and everything. So let's grab the hands too. That's why this lasso tool is very useful. Grab that and make sure that's on free transform, just so I can better distort the shape the way that I need it to be. Alright, so then the spear shape is gonna, angle is gonna change. Let's go in here. Oop. Make sure I have a harder edged brush. Now that there. And for right now, I'm not going to worry about the back of the spear. Just till I get a better idea here overall of everything. I'm just gonna not indicate the full length of it there. I'll get a harder brush there again. And even that, you can see the actual angle is a little off. Oops. I want to rotate. I don't want to. Is that? Oh, it's still off. Oh, again, I grabbed the size. It's pretty easy to accidentally do that when you're rotating here. That's gonna be more down yet. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so little by little you can see it's just getting better and better and better, like the actual proportions and shape of the body there. Let's grab a softer brush here just to fill in the gaps there. Oh, and the webcam is off again. Might have to just get a little fan to run, maybe, if it is an overheating issue with it. Not that that has anything to do with what I'm doing right now, but come on, get me with that color. Another thing is that this rock face in the back is going to need to kind of change tone as well. I'm just going to hold down Shift to add more sections to that selection. No, I don't know. That's annoying. I'm not going to worry too much about that there. Alright. Now I'm just going to go to Edit, Tonal Correction. Now I like to use the hue saturation one just because I feel like I can make greater changes overall. Now, see, that's going to be in the background, so it's going to not have quite as dark a shadows as everything in the foreground. Just like I said with the atmosphere there. Just get rid of this kind of stuff going on here. I'm just gonna bring up my kind of reference guy here. Just gonna start indicating a little bit of the what I want in the chest piece here. So I'm gonna go with kind of a pretty light color here. Just kind of give an indication of stuff here. Just gonna draw kind of the line of how these are gonna kind of come there. Just give myself kind of a little guide there. Let's have this breastplate kind of. I'm gonna leave some space there on the edge for where I'm just gonna put kind of those tassels kind of look coming off it. It's gonna be kind of where it kind of bunches there. Actually, it's probably gonna do that a little bit more here too. We're just gonna start overlapping stuff there. I'm just kind of giving an indication right now of where that's gonna be. Now this, I think, actually, let's grab a hard tool. Probably gonna come out more there. Let's grab that again. Wish it, am I not getting quite as bright not getting quite as bright of a highlight as I'm hoping there. Let's make this a little bit brighter in the color picker. That's better. Actually worked a little bit better than my first one. There you go in here. Oh, just gonna save a habit that is hard to get into, especially since a lot of these programs will get used to ones that automatically save for you now, but it's not something you want to trust. Let's bring it lighter. I'll bring this. Probably get the lighter section. It's kind of more towards the end, and the gap here is going to actually be bigger, but I'm just going to kind of indicate right now that there's going to be a darker spot there, kind of a darker spot along there. There's one of those. It's a little bit of an indicator that it's going to go up in more to his chest there. Just and we're gonna have, the tassels more coming off, flying off there, just to give more sense of movement there with everything. There goes the camera again. So if anybody knows of a good, very quiet fan that I can use on that would be much appreciated too. If you know of something that would not be too intrusive of noise wise, I appreciate knowing. So we're about an hour in now. Still quite a bit time to go. Yeah, that gives you a better idea of what that's gonna be. All right, I'm just gonna go in and kind of change the coloration on his a loinclothy looking area here. I'm just gonna go back up to my tonal correction, hue saturation. I believe left is gonna make that more red. Oh. Okay, and I can saturate it a little bit more, but I don't want to saturate it too much where it's going to be kind of competing with the shadows elsewhere, if the shadows become too rich and dark, because once you start adding red to like black, you get like a real rich tone that's going to make it more difficult to kind of match the stuff after. Oh, wrong brush there. Just gonna grab that, bring a little bit more of a highlighting tone in there where that's gonna be pulling from. It's right there. Now he's got a belt there too. That's probably gonna change a little bit. Need a little bit larger brush size there, a little bit better. Just grabbing kind of the darker tone there now. Just gonna help me make the shapes there that I want to get. Sometimes you need to kind of with cloth, you got to remember that it's not gonna behave like quite as flowing. Like sometimes you'll do it, at least I do, where it's way too flowy and you kind of need to add in some more like squared off shapes in there, just because it's stiffer than you probably think. It's gonna want to fold more in lines, shapes than rounded off nice soft shapes. I think I just did that. That needs to be a little bit higher. Come on, give me a darker color. I have to play around with this folds a lot more. I think I'm just gonna kind of cut away a bit of the section there. Refine it a little bit more here. See, like this section here is really flowy. A little too much. Just gonna straighten out some of those lines there. Do them more these kind of shapes. Worked good there, but this part here still needs kind of, yeah, it's better. I kind of like the way that this guy has these like little dark areas that go in across, banding across the bit there. There's like a bunch coming down there. I just kind of want to indicate a little bit of the shape of the folds and stuff. And of course, coming around an area there, it's gonna narrow. Start getting more folds. Oh. They're a little bit closer together. Now that's something I probably shouldn't be doing yet because but I just kind of want to get an idea for it first, the way it would look. I do like it. Let's get rid of that for now. Still trying to figure out where I'm going to put the feather for his hair because I really want that, but just kind of, just for now, give him a little bit of a haircut. We'll start lightening this up a little bit too. Let's give myself. It's gonna go right over those lines I created. It's just kind of for myself to kind of get an idea of what I'm gonna be doing with them. Just need a bit bigger brush, yeah. Just kind of getting the volume of that there. these pull lines are going to be. Off the knee joint. This all kind of coming from this kind of pull line right there. So I figure the most stretch it's gonna be coming off in there, coming off. So there's going to be the knee. I'm just kind of doing this as a separate shape for right now, just so I can know that I'm just going to be pulling everything from around there. That's going to actually pull more from the front of that space, so that's what we're doing there. Probably going to pull into that corner there. We'll go back in and do more defined wrinkles and stuff at some point. But just kind of getting shape is going to go. And lightening everything up here a bit. Let's bring that opacity back down again, or not opacity, sorry, size of the brush back down. Just keep working those shapes. Yeah, that's good. At least that leg is starting to look good. I don't like how this is turning though, where it's like the fabric is turning. So probably, I think a lot of that is due to the shape though. Shape here. I just need that to go. All of that to kind of come right to the edge there. And take this highlight here. This highlight is actually going to be right along to the edge there, probably. Make those deeper folds. And again, the shape needs to have a little bit more, kind of the same thing I was talking about with the loincloth kind of area there. Just get more square off those shapes a little bit in there. Now I was gonna go see if that camera comes back. So I was gonna go 2 hours again today, but I think I'm going to stop it soon here, just because it is getting warm in this area here, and I really do need to get some sort of fan going or something. So my hands are slipping on the on my actual pen tool. which I really need to get kind of like a rubber stopper or something on there. Which I used to put on there. It's like those foam ones that you just get for pencils. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dootsie Cutie Patootie. Thanks for the compliment. And I appreciate you tuning in. And anybody else, feel free to leave me a message and try to stay